Hey guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Here we are. It's Thursday, February 16th, 2017, and let's get into some of the economic factors that will be playing a part in the price of precious metals. So we have some big news coming out. And so we all remember, right? We're in the middle of this great recovery. And so we have the Bureau of Labor Statistics came out and they released a report for January. And what we're seeing, that there has been a decline. Negative 0.5 in real average hourly earnings. We see negative 0.4 in real average weekly earnings. And so we are seeing a decline in wages, more than that. In the real average weekly earnings, we have negative 0.6. Average weekly hours, we also see, are in a decline of negative 0.6. So when it comes to the discussion that Mrs. Yellen has been having about the state of the economy, I'm sure the way she described it as performing extremely underwhelmingly is a much better way to put it. So what we see is that consumer confidence, as they described it, was the major driver of the economy for their reports, why they thought that they should be on the move to raise interest rates. This was the big news, and it's a massive risk. We see that the economy is now in a slowdown. We are not going to see increased spending, and this further, for all employees, we see the real income is now declining. This is going to further erupt this problem that we have brewing of the lack of money velocity taking place in the United States right now. Number one, they said that they expected the retail sales report is they hope to see better numbers coming in the coming months. And really that assessment, I don't even know if they're reading these real earnings reports. I don't know who begins to spend more money and care less when they have a drop in their hours at work. When all employees in the United States have a drop in pay on average. And this is exactly what we've been warning about for months. The rate of real income growth continues to decline from what was its peak nearly 2 years ago. Real income actually declined over on a year-on-year basis for production and non-supervisory employees in December, negative 0.01%. Today, we have 0.6%. And so, I don't know how anyone can interpret this as good news. The increase in new jobs each month is not what drives consumer spending. Income growth drives consumer spending, and contraction of income, contraction of hours, having people having their hours cut for the jobs that they're working, having no increase on wages, but in fact decreases on hourly pay, weekly pay, is what causes normal people, unless you work in the government, then you don't even pay attention to numbers like that. You just spend more. But normal people, it causes them to have to come and tighten their belt a little, change the way they're living, not go out on shopping sprees. And we see this holiday season is over. We saw that during the holiday season this year, we increased the amount of credit, personal consumer credit in the United States by massive numbers. We got to keep those kids happy. Got to go out. And the only way we were able to even provide Christmas this year, it looks like, was on credit. And so a drop in weekly hours, drop in weekly earnings. You see, we are watching not a recession coming. We are watching the recession reveal itself. Beyond their headlines, beyond their announcements that they just see such great outlook for the economy. Look at what they were questioning the Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen about yesterday. And just think about if this makes sense. What are we running anymore? A soap opera? They're questioning her about, what do you think about global warming? What do you think about global warming? And of course she's going to answer to the negative. Of course she's going to say, she kind of tried to play that question off. It has nothing to do with the Federal Reserve's policies. But of course she's going to try to play that off as if it's somehow harmful to the economy not to believe in global warming. What about the decline in mining? What about the decline in production of reserves? of development of reserves. So more than, what else did they ask her? What do you think, Mrs. Yellen, about the immigration ban? What does that have to do with the monetary system? What does that have to do with the Federal Reserve? And we know that they answer, of course, to the affirmative. I think it's horrible. I think it's detrimental. Same thing you hear on all the news lines, not only in the United States, but around the world. It seems like anything that this president comes up with, they're against. And they're a united front. And so, what is the purpose of even asking the Federal Reserve Chair these questions? Let's get to the facts. When consumers start to lose purchasing power for the goods and services that they buy on a regular basis, consumer confidence wanes and they cut back on spending. And then what? They're coming out and they're creating monetary policy on the fact that consumer confidence levels are at decade-plus highs, just as real income is starting to decline. In the past, declines in real income have led declines in real consumer spending. These consumer confidence levels are going to start to fall in these coming months. The rate of consumer spending growth, it will deteriorate. This house of cards is coming down, and all they want to talk about is the weather and immigration bans. What about how are we going to battle this coming massive inflation coming on the U.S. economy? How are we going to battle these devaluation of the currency, the increase in prices for food, oil, heating oil, with lower wages? Why don't we talk about something real? All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe, like the videos, share the videos, get the word out, and I thank you all so much. And as always, stay safe.